Hello and welcome back. For anybody who has been watching Cup of Joe with Joe, you might notice that we're missing a very important person. Joe has transitioned on to a new employment opportunity, and we are so excited for him to go on that endeavor. So now we are transitioning this platform to employment for everybody, because that's what this whole initiative came about for, is trying to educate the OSAN community on all things employment related. So here today, I have two very special guests who you might recognize, Miss Joe and Miss Bonnie. Hi, everybody. Today we're going to be doing some spotlights.
Highlight spotlights.
On some two spouses who have traveled with their active duty members through multiple duty stations, and are just going to share a little bit about what their experience has been as a spouse and how it relates to employment. So we're going to start with Miss Bonnie, who has a very unique employment story. So Miss Bonnie, when we first met, I learned that you were a registered nurse.
Yes.
And so in my mind, I thought, okay, she's worked at hospitals and things like that, but that's not necessarily how your story went. So share a little bit with us about that.
Oh, well, yes, and thank you so much for having us both. This is so fun to be on here and get to talk with you, so we really appreciate it. Yes, my situation is definitely unique, and through it all, it's always been my intent to keep my nursing license active and then just volunteer and work where I can, but at the same time, just being flexible for our family. But my story starts back, so I actually married my husband after my freshman year of college. So I was 19 years old and he was in the middle of pilot training. So when we got married, I moved with him up to pilot training. And then because I hadn't finished my degree yet, I continued my education everywhere we moved. So by the time I graduated with my nursing degree, I had been to 6 colleges.
Oh, wow.
So it was, yes, a very, but through that time and just going to those different colleges, I did work as an aerobics instructor. So just wherever we were stationed, I would work at that base's gym and teach classes. And I even taught classes to some airmen who were needing to improve their fitness score for their PT
nice.
test. So that was kind of fun. So I did that. And then also through it all and just navigating the colleges and my requirements for nursing school, I did actually utilize airmen in FRC because they just had such a great knowledge base of what the education opportunities were at that specific location. I think back in the day it was called Family Support Center.
Yes.
That's what I remember calling it. So I would go to the Family Support Center like, hey, we're moving there. Can you tell me what colleges are available? This is my goal. And so they were really super helpful in that. So yes, so I graduated with my degree in nursing, and at the time I was 5 months pregnant with our daughter, and then I took my nursing boards, my NCLEX, when I was 7 months pregnant, and passed those, and then had our daughter, and 2 months later we moved to Aviano, Italy. So and at that time, I'm not sure how it is now, but I was not able to work overseas in Europe with my nursing degree, but it was okay. I just I stayed home with our daughter, and that was I felt very valued in that, and that was really just a great time for our family. But also, since I was super fresh with all of my education and nursing, I was able to really help some other military spouses who were also new moms or had questions about healthcare, just little questions that they would call me up and ask, oh, hey, my daughter has this fever. Do you think I should take her to the ER now? Or do you think I should wait? Or my son cut his leg. Do you think it needs stitches? So even though I wasn't working and getting paid as a nurse, I was still able to use my knowledge base of my education just to help military spouses. So so my husband and I have been married for over 20 years and in this military life, and this move to Korea was our 15th. Jeez. So you can imagine how challenging it would be with employment. So just through all of our assignments, for the most part, I did stay at home full time with our kids, and that was great. But I also really started to get involved in the military spouse programs and the key spouse programs, and just be involved in the community and give back in that way. And I absolutely love that. And then the past 8 years of our military life, my husband's been in command of 7 of them. So just being a command spouse has just had great opportunities for volunteer work in the community with other military families. And so I really just enjoyed doing that. So I wasn't able to work in a hospital as a nurse, but I really have enjoyed just the different experiences we've had, which is moving and meeting new people and just being able to help through that. The last 3 assignments we have, though, I did decide, since all of our children were in school, to start working as a substitute teacher at my children's school and a substitute nurse. So, and here at OSAN, when we first moved here in June, I decided that I wanted to substitute teach. So I applied for a job through DODEA and was hired about 4 months later. So I know it's a lengthy process and all of the challenges that go through it. And talking to senior leadership at DODEA, they're aware of those lengthy processes and they're doing everything they can to make it easier for families or for spouses to get jobs there. But yes, it did take quite a bit. So currently here I'm employed as a substitute teacher with DODEA and as substitute nurse. And that has really just been a great fit for me, just for what I'm able to do to help with the wing and with my husband, because I really love doing those things. But when I'm available, I do like to substitute teach at the kids' school, because it's just been a really flexible, great fit for me.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
perfect. Yeah,
great.
so lots of different things that I'm pulling from that story that I kind of want to highlight. So one is like that education piece.
Mm-hmm.
I know there are spouses out there who are struggling to, transfer credits from school to school to try and make that happen. I know online school is so much more popular these days and very accessible. And there are so many opportunities for funding for that as well, especially for the lower enlisted, newly commissioned active duty members out there with spouses. There's tons of information through Air Force Aid Society offers grants. My CAA gives money so that those spouses can continue that education along their spouse's journey. The other thing that you had mentioned was working along the way. So finding those little things that you could do, not only at the gyms, helping airmen stay fit, helping their families stay fit, but also helping families, like assisting them with your knowledge base, with your nursing background. That's huge. And I'm glad that you have found a good substitute teaching fit that kind of matches your lifestyle, keeps you involved with the community along the way. Yeah, anything else you want to add to that or highlight?
No, I mean, that's, I know it's very challenging just with being a military spouse and trying to find employment. But there are, if that's something that you're trying to do and you want to do, I just encourage you just to keep moving forward with it, just to continue to be proactive, and just to utilize the resources that we have at ANFRC and through the Military One Source. There's just so many opportunities out there. So I just encourage you not to give up. I know we talk about resiliency, but it is very important. So if you want to continue working, please don't give up and keep doing so.
Yeah. And one thing that is probably changed, I know it's new within the last few years, is there is now a reimbursement for having to change your license. So I know, like, as a nurse, that's something you have to get registered for probably at every state.
Yes.
And so now that's something that if you are a military spouse and you move because of orders and you have to get re-registered somewhere else or get relicensed, you can actually get reimbursed for that cost
That's
now,
wonderful.
which is super helpful for a lot of those professions that do require that, like teachers and nurses and a lot of our medical providers. So that's a great resource out there as well. But thank you so much for sharing your story. We will wrap that there so that we can keep these short and sweet so that we keep you tuned. And next video, we are going to hear from Miss Jo.